Now, obviously, the Voice debate is well and truly behind us, but the unpicking of the Voice debate continues. And as you know, the result, very clear, 60% of Australians making it absolute that they didn't want it. Every place in the country, with the exception of some lefty Labor seats, the Teal seats and the ACT, said not just no, they said hell no. $450 million wasted. And of course, we've heard from Jacinta Price on the night. We heard from the Prime Minister on the night. But of course, that is not the final word. The people who were involved in all of this have obviously every right to start to have their say about what went right for the No campaign, what went wrong for the Yes campaign. But I want to show you what they did on Channel 2 last night. This was the 7:30 report, taking a few minutes of its national broadcast before it started to talk about the bushfires that have killed people in Queensland. By the way, is the Prime Minister planning to go there before he goes to Beijing? Of course not. That standard's only for the former Prime Minister. This is what they did last night with their airtime, trying to work out, for want of a better term, what went wrong.
When the Prime Minister committed to holding the referendum, about 2/3 of Australians backed the idea, but that support fell away rapidly. Amongst Indigenous leaders, there's now soul-searching about whether the Yes campaign was too slow and too ill-prepared for the debate that followed.
So what went wrong? That's the title that's on the YouTube video of that story, which you can watch tonight if you're bored enough. But the people that they spoke to, let me show you, includes this Yes campaigner, this Yes campaigner, this Yes campaigner, this Yes campaigner, and this Yes campaigner. And literally no one from the No campaign. A little hard to be honest when you're dissecting what went wrong if you only talk to one side of the question, including the people who got it so wrong for so long. But don't worry. The micro-messaging that goes back into the people who watch that show, who remain heartbroken by democracy, again, working in Australia, and the mob always gets it right, regardless of whether you like the result. That's the joy of democracy. Well, of course, all the buzzwords were there for about who to blame.
Senator Jacinta Price.
You need bipartisanship.
After Dutton's announcement.
Bipartisan support to get a referendum up.
Peter Dutton.
And just in case that wasn't a big enough bogey, the 100% guest list of Yes campaigners, well, of course, they believe we need to censor the internet.
The disinformation.
The debate became a febrile fight, rife with misinformation.
Being dishonest to the Australian people to confuse them and to cause fear.
Now, I'm all well and good for the home game, that is the ABC, to attempt to find a way, not to lick its wounds, but to blame everyone else. But the reality is that you're not even trying if the only stuff you show of 50% of the argument is cuts and no interviews, no capacity for anyone to have any say post the debate. And remember, one of the many reasons why some people may have been shocked by the result of the referendum is because in much of the ABC's reporting, they never talked about the polls. You see, they thought they could just constantly pump with message and vibe because that was working. But then once the evidence started to come in that it wasn't, they never recognised it. So literally there were people sitting forward, leaning forward, because they thought that the result that they were hearing about on Radio National or watching on the ABC was definitely going to happen. Instead, if they had been given both sides of the argument and seen which one Australians were starting to connect with, the result wouldn't have been a shock. And interestingly, Laurie Oakes, who obviously is not active in politics anymore, but was around Channel 9 for a long period of time, he had this assessment about the Prime Minister and the long-term wounds from leading the country through $450 million worth of a question he knew we were going to vote no to.
When you handle something as big as The Voice as badly as he handled it, people are naturally going to assume that you're not handling other things very well either. He's come out of this, the Voice referendum, looking like an incompetent dill, and he may be stuck with that.
He was promoting some book or something else, but interesting to know.